Hypno tanks the first Icicle Sphere. Unfortunately, Warren will outpace the Icicle Sphere number 2, but Cutlass Boy knows he's level 50.5. Hypno will tank it like a boss. We reach the Focus Blast. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. My gosh, do we have an incredible battle submission today. For me personally, this is absolute nostalgia, as I'm old and I'm all about Gen 1. That's what I grew playing up. You can see on the screen we've got a perfect IV Shadow Hypno maxed out at level 50.5. Cutlass Boy's just short of the XL to push it all the way to level 51. We've then got a rank 8 level 50 Hitmonchan operating on my favourite moveset of Ice Punch and Close Combat. And if you're wondering why I said it's a nostalgia moment, we've got a full Kanto team as rounding the team off. We've got Shadow Snorlax. You will notice we've got Focus Blast, we've got Close Combat, so Snorlax doesn't really need that steel type coverage. So for some extra boom potential, we've got Outrage. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we've got Hitmonchan into Dragonite. The Ice Punch will be double super effective. If we can land it, Dragonite's about to get vanquished. To the Pokeball, does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They get absolutely wrecked. And just like that, we pivot out into Snorlax and the opponent's already out of here. And we're off to a very quick 1-0 start. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into Obscune. Obscune operates as a fake fighter. Hitmonchan says, I'm a real fighter. Get out of here. The opponent switches into Venusaur, and here comes Shadow Hypno. The confusion's going to tear apart Venusaur. We tank the Frenzy Plant like an absolute boss. It looks like Cutlass Boy going for the one shield farm all the way down. And then if Obscune don't know about Hypno's Focus Blast coverage, my god, are they about to find out? There's no baiting. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, and we get yet another boom. The opponent's final Pokemon is a 2-shield Lapras. Unfortunately, Hypno not going to be able to reach the Focus Blast, so we settle for a Legacy Psyshock, but it still forces a Protect Shield. Cutlass Boy now sends back out Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan hitting for huge super effective damage with the counters. We shield up the hard hitting Ice Beam. Cutlass Boy hasn't baited thus far, so this time he's going for a very cheeky master baiting session. With the double resistant Ice Punch, we force the final Protect Shield. Can Hitmonchan survive this move and get off the close combat? Unfortunately, we cannot. We show him Snorlax and the opponent concede the match. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we've got an old school battle of Gen 1 fighters. Hitmonchan into Poliwrath. Interesting enough, this Poliwrath isn't running its newly acquired counter that they did get access to on Com Day. They're still on Mudshot. We shield up the Dynamic Punch. I think Poliwrath's likely to shield, fearful of a Thunder Punch, but either way, Cutlass Boy is full sending the Close Combat. Close Combat goes shielded. The opponent again has enough for a Dynamic Punch. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent also not a fan of bait and they full send it. Cutlass Boy continuing to go straight nukes. We throw the next Close Combat. It's now all shields down. Cutlass Boy is going to get outpaced, so stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the next Dynamic Punch onto Hypno, where it does essentially nothing. The opponent now send out Gramble. It's the battle of the oppressive fast moves. We reach the Legacy Psyshock. The opponent has no shield. Psyshock gets Gramble incredibly low. The opponent going to just about reach a charge move. However, this is perfect. This will take out Hypno, and we can choose to either counter down or come in and lick down and get ahead in energy. We send in Hitmonchan, we get the counter farm down before the charm registers. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Alolan Mark, and Mark might only take neutral from Close Combat, but Close Combat rocks them deep into the red. We pivot out into Snorlax. The licks are resisted, but the Close Combat did so much damage that Snorlax is going to be able to get the resisted lick farm all the way down. The opponent attempted to catch a move on Poliwrath. We say no, and we're actually going to go for the BM Outrage, because why fucking not? GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. These battles are coming thick and fast. We've got a whole 4 sets for you today. In the next battle, we've got Hitmonchan into the Walrus. The Walrus doesn't fancy its chances. The opponent switches into Trevenant. We go for the Chip and Dip. Ice Punch lands. This is going to allow Snorlax a very easy lick farm all the way down. The opponent can throw Seed Bombs, but Snorlax doesn't care. We're so thick. Not only are we a big fat bastard, we're actually incredibly bulky. Snorlax gets the full lick farm down. The opponent sends out Walrein. They're probably fearful that we've got superpower. Most Snorlax do run superpower. However, either way, we're in a great spot. We go for the Body Slam. Body Slam goes unshielded, but Snorlax says there's plenty more of where that came from. We fire off Body Slam number 2, and the opponent actually commit a Protect Shield. The opponent unable to go for the Powder Snow farm down, opt to throw the Icicle Sphere. Icicle Sphere does secure the knockout. Back out comes shield advantage, Shadow Hitmonchan. The opponent looked to catch a charge move onto Giratina, and here comes Hypno. Typing advantage is with the opponent, but confusion is no joke. It's very oppressive, and we've got access to a good, cheap stab charge move with Legacy Psyshock. The first Psyshock's already got the bulky Giratina down below half health. The opponent then gives us a full free confusion. Cutlass Boy invests his first Protect Shield on the Dragon Claw. The opponent going to reach Dragon Claw number 2, and Cutlass Boy says, I survived that. I'm not shielding. We're still going to reach another Psyshock. This will either force the final Protect Shield or force the knockout. The opponent do invest their final Protect Shield. Hitmonchan comes in, fires off the Wham Bam combo play with the Ice Punch, securing the knockout, and Walreign's going to die to 2 counters, and we take that game. Hitmonchan into Heliolisk. I imagine the opponent's instantly going to pivot, and they do. They send out Giratina Origin, and we answer with a big thick boy. Unless the opponent's got Dragon Pulse, Snorlax walls absolutely everything. Do they have Dragon Pulse? Evidently not. They throw the Ominous Wind, fishing for the boost. I'll be honest, we probably could have lick farmed all the way down, but why not boom them with the Outrage, which goes unshielded. The opponent then send out Swampert. And as much as I'm trying not to laugh, if you're in this situation, you should definitely send out Heliolisk, because you will double resist the licks. However, in fairness, the opponent probably fearful we've got superpower. However, still, you're going to get Hitmonchan aligned with that Heliolisk. So I think you've just got to bring it in and perhaps sack the Heliolisk and put 2 shields on Swampert. We now send out Hypno. Hypno tearing apart this purified Swampert. The opponent throw an alignment. Hypno can tank any move. The opponent throw the Hydro Cannon. The opponent then send out Heliolisk. No shot. We full send the Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes unshielded. And that is going to be all she wrote. The opponent is still playing it out. But unless we have a heart attack, there is 0 win con. We shield up the Hypno. We could let it go. We could shield. Either way, we take the dub. GG's. Hitmonchan into Charizard. Yikes. We see the instant pivot into Hypno. The opponent farm up some energy and send out Obstagoon. It looks like RPS and not in our favour. Obstagoon double resist the confusions. However, do you know what they don't resist? Would be the big fat Focus Blast. Hypno looks to throw the Focus Blast. Unfortunately, we lose CMP. Cutlass Boy invest to Protect Shield. Trainer, if we've shielded, you sir also need to shield. The opponent shows no respect. They get vanquished. Back to their Pokeball, and just like that, we have alignment. Charizard gets super greedy, allowing us to make a Psyshock. I imagine the opponent finally uses a shield, and they do. The opponent then don't even commit to the full wing attack farm down. Cutlass Boy's now sitting in a fantastic spot. We can now realign. We can send out the big thick boy, and the opponent can quite literally throw whatever they want. The opponent try their luck with a baiting session. We don't shield shit. The opponent continue to stay in, so this body slam will be knocking out or forcing a Protect Shield. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield, pivot out into Walreign, and here comes Hitmonchan. We see the instant no shield deployed. Hitmonchan can tank any one move. The opponent full send the Earthquake. Cutlass Boy allows himself to get incredibly low. We go for the double resisted Ice Punch, but is Ice Punch enough from this range to knock out? No, it's not, but we do get the counter farm down. We're now going to go for the BM close combat. This is resisted, but Hitmonchan hits like a truck, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see a bit of a core breaker. The counters are resisted due to the bug type, and as this bug is using a ghost quick move, Hypno will be taken super effective. We shield up Respect and air relays, and the opponent bait with an X-Scissor. Undeterred, Cutlass Boy sends out Hypno, which has by no means a good matchup. The opponent throw the X-Scissor. Hypno shows its bulk. We then look to throw the Psyshock, and no! The opponent catches the Psyshock onto Obstagoon like a savage. Very nice play from the opponent. However, if you look at Cutlass Boy's team, we now mean that Obstagoon is on the battlefield, which means Snorlax doesn't have to face it where the licks will be triple resisted. We can now send in Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan can go for the full counter farm down, and hopefully Shadow Snorlax will sweep. Let's see. The opponent fires off the Night Slash. Hitmonchan withstands the damage. We've got a boatload of energy. The opponent send out Gliscopod. We do have access to Thunder Punch. We might actually force a shield here, and we do. We then see the pivot into the big thick boy. We have 1 Protect Shield remaining. Cutlass Boy instantly clicks the no shield. The opponent fire off the Liquidation. We don't see a defense drop, and the opponent sends out Regirock. Yikes, this is going to get close. The opponent give us a very easy no shield decision. They go straight for the Stone Edge, which doesn't knock out. If they would have built up to the Focus Blast, they would have pressured our final Protect Shield. We bait with a Body Slam. The opponent shows no respect. Snorlax continuing to throw resisted Body Slams, Outrage would do more damage as it is neutral, however the opponent going to be unable to lock on farm us all the way down. Surely we don't win this game. The opponent throws the Stone Edge, securing the knockout back out. Comes Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan gonna have to shield the Stone Edge as we've got almost no HP. Stone Edge goes shielded. The opponent sends out Gliscopod. We fire off the resisted Ice Punch. Ice Punch forces the final Protect Shield. We then throw the resisted Close Combat. Close Combat actually knocks out. Can we counter farm down? Holy smokes, Hitmonchan, you monster. What an incredible endgame. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into Venusaur. Not a great matchup as our counters are resisted, but we can hit back for super effective with the Ice Punch. We throw the Ice Punch on the CMP side. Ice Punch gets Venusaur below half health. We see the instant shield deployed as Frenzy Plant would do huge damage. It looks like we're looking to catch the next one onto Snorlax. The catch wasn't the cleanest, but was successful. Unlike Hitmonchan, Snorlax can easily tank a Frenzy Plant. The opponent now send out Lapras. You will notice Cutlass Boy farms up, baiting a potential superpower. You've always got to fake it till you make it. We throw the Body Slam, forcing a Protect Shield. A very nice play from Cutlass Boy. Snorlax has done its job, so we instantly click No Shield, electing to just let it go down. We can now send back out Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan not going to appreciate the surf. We see Cutlass Boy invest the Protect Shield. We should throw 4 counters and the Close Combat. Very nice timing from Cutlass Boy. Close Combat going to vanquish Lapras. Back to their Pokeball. You will notice we did see an Ice Shard hit us, so it looks like we got 1 turn lag. However, 2 turn into 3 turn, you always want to throw out 1, 4, or 7, which Cutlass Boy did. We pivot out into Hypno. Hypno sees a Nidoqueen in the back, and it looks like Hypno's time to shine. We fire off the Psyshock. Psyshock forces the final Protect Shield. Nidoqueen running out of HP. Can we survive this Poison Fang? Poison Fang almost knocks out Hypno. Does survive. We Simul KO. Back out comes Hitmonchan. We've got the Ice Punch locked and loaded. Hi Nido, bye Nidoqueen. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, will you shadow Hitmonchan into a purified Drapion? Absolute sacrilege. Why on earth would you purify the channel mascot like that? I'm so offended. Cutlass Boy, make sure you get me some redemption. The opponent farm up to the sludge. Bait with the Aqua Tail. Hitmonchan says, thanks to the drink, I'm getting very sweaty. We full send the Close Combat vanquish Drapion back to their Pokeball. We then see the instant pivot to reset our debuff into Snorlax, and the opponent sends out Cobalion. This is by no means a good matchup for Snorlax, but it's not the worst. The licks do add up, and we might even get a shield, as the opponent might be fearful we're running Superpower. Snorlax again shows its bulk, tanking the Sacred Sword. Cutlass Boy looking to bait the Superpower. Do we force a Protect Shield? Come on, trainer, shit your pants. The opponent does give us a Protect Shield, however they do get a huge double kick farm down. Cutlass Boy does have shield advantage, however Hitmonchan pretty much in Sacred Sword range. Cutlass Boy gives up his first Protect Shield. Sacred Sword goes unshielded. It looks like we're anticipating the opponent instant throw-in. They do not. However, the opponent does throw the Sacred Sword regardless and then send out Walrein. Oh, hello, Walrein. Walrein doesn't even build up to an Earthquake. An easy no-shield for Hypno. Hypno tanks the first Icicle Sphere. It looks like we're even going to survive the second, although it's going to be close. Cutlass Boy putting faith in his level 50.5 Hypno. We survive on 1 HP and a dream. We full send the Focus Blast. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They get absolutely wrecked. Back out comes Cobalion. They get the double kick farm down. However, with 1 Protect Shield remaining, Hitmonchan is going to shield up the Sacred Sword, counter farm down, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into Swampert. Not the worst, not the best. We do even survive an Earthquake. I've used Shadow Hitmonchan quite a lot in the past. The opponent throws the Hydro Cannon. We shield the first. Cutlass Boy farming up. Throwing the Close Combat one before the next Hydro Cannon. Close Combat, force a Protect Shield. We then catch the second onto Snorlax. A very nice play. Snorlax shows its bulk, tanking the Hydro Cannon like an absolute boss. And again, we see Cobalion enter the battlefield. After being chipped to a Hydro Cannon, we're going to be quite close to Sacred Sword range. Snorlax survives on 1 HP and a dream. My god, big boy, you are thick. We throw the Body Slam. The opponent gives up their final Protect Shield. Okay, we're cooking. In comes Hitmonchan. We don't need to shield up this Sacred Sword. However, it does do a lot. My god, is Hitmonchan glassy. We opt to throw 3 counters, which is alignment. However, this Close Combat is going to one-shot, so we aren't going to take the double kick. Close Combat does one-shot. We see the pivot into Hypno. The opponent farm up some energy, pivot out into Charizard, and my god, Charizard is not going to appreciate this Psyshock. Psyshock gets Shadow Charizard incredibly low. Can the opponent reach a Blast Burn? Is that 6 or 7? I think it's 7. This is 2 times speed, so I could be wrong. However, if the opponent was at the Blast Burn, they certainly should have thrown it. We can now save our Protect Shield, shield up the Hydro Cannon. We've got the Psyshock locked and loaded, and Hypno this time sweeps the back line. GG's and thanks for playing. I'll be honest, at 2 times speed and shoutcasting on my phone, it's very difficult to always be correct with my own counting when I'm trying to commentate. We see another Swampert lead. I wonder if we do the same again. We're going to shield the first move. I imagine we're going to throw 3 counters and the close combat. Which we do. Does this Swampert respect the close combat? Close combat goes unshielded. Swampert gets vanquished back to their Pokeball. We see their pivot into Snorlax. The opponent send out Togekiss or Togepiss, I like to call it. This is a bullshit nonsense tap Pokemon that literally does nothing other than offer oppressive fast move damage. The opponent's only thrown 8. Aerial Ace probably will knock out. Ancient Power certainly will not. Snorlax withstands the damage. Reaches another Body Slam. Body Slam goes unshielded. The opponent saving their final Protect Shield for a Fire Spin Charizard. Charizard is about to get oppressively beat down by our Hypno. Look at the confusion damage. Cutlass Boy getting notifications left, right and centre. It's like we're shoutcasting some of Ty's battle. Shout out to my boy Ty. Cutlass Boy calls the bait like an absolute savage, then returns fire with the Psyshock. Psyshock finally forces a Protect Shield. Cutlass Boy again looking to call the bait. Last second we commit a Protect Shield and it's the Blast Burn. Cutlass Boy then sends out Hitmonchan. We get the counter farm down and we take that game. In the next battle, dreadful lead. We save switch into Hypno. Hypno on this moveset is completely walled. However, the opponent certainly doesn't know that. A lot of Hypnos usually run something like Thunder Punch and Shadow Ball. Hypno is such a Swiss Army knife. We build up, bait in the Shadow Ball, throw Legacy Psyshock. The opponent actually commits a Protect Shield. So again, that's so important. You've always got to fake it till you make it. When using a Pokemon like Hypno, which has so many charge moves, you can always bait a move you haven't got. We tank the Grass Knot. Fire off yet another Psyshock. Psyshock this time goes unshielded, and my god, I think that healed Cresselia. Despite Cutlass Boy switching out of one bad matchup into another bad matchup, he's gained himself shield advantage with some smart energy management. We can now send in our only counter for Cresselia in the form of Snorlax, where the licks are super effective, but Cresselia is so thick. It's going to take about 1,000,000 years to lick farm all the way down. Cutlass Boy tanks the Moonblast. We look to throw the Body Slam, but the opponent make a great catch, catching onto yet another Togepiss. Body Slam does decent chip damage. Snorlax so far ahead in energy, makes Body Slam number 2, forcing the final Protect Shield. The opponent go for the full tap, charm down, farm down, but Snorlax says, not today, trainer. We make one final Body Slam, securing the knockout. We see the instant pivot into Hitmonchan, and the opponent send out Walrein. This Walrein is switch locked, and we have 2 Protect Shields to hide behind. We shield up the Icicle Sphere. Cutlass Boy can now take this Walrein out with the close combat. Close combat gonna vanquish Walrein. Back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Cresselia, but we still have 1 Protect Shield to hide behind. Cutlass Boy gonna shield up the inevitable Grass Knot bait. However, we're only 1 away from the close combat. This is resisted, but Hitmonchan is a Cresselia counter confirmed. You heard it here first. GG's and thanks for playing. Holy spice, Incineroar. Boy Ghost, is that you, buddy? Are you back playing? My friend Boy Ghost, one of my Homeslice homie factions mates or Battle Frontier mates, loves Incineroar. It's pretty spicy and I don't think it's particularly good. The opponent save switch into Gardevoir. We land the Body Slam, get the full lick farm down. The opponent sends back out Incineroar. Incineroar has access to Double Kick, which will be super effective, but Snorlax incredibly thick. The opponent shields, fearful of a superpower. The opponent can't get the full Double Kick farm down, so they opt to throw a charge move. Flame Charge does land, vamping up our attack and securing the knockout back out. Comes Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan goes to the Ice Punch, which is resisted. Incineroar, incredibly glassy, actually calls the bait. Mr. Opponent, what a savage. Cutlass Boy gonna invest the Protect Shield. The opponent again throw the Flame Charge. Hitmonchan gets the full counter farm down. It's the 1-to-1 shield. The opponent's final Pokemon is Greninja. And we are full sending the close combat. Close combat, after some lag, goes unshielded. Bang, there it is. Shout out to Oxford U as well. We're getting all the shout outs in this video because, to be honest, content creation is a grind and I respect everyone that loves to get on this ridiculous, very stressful content grind. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into Charizard. This Charizard is running Fire Spin, but regardless, a dreadful matchup for Hitmonchan. As the opponent is a flyer, our counters are resisted. We fire off a Body Slam, forcing a Protect Shield. The opponent bank all the energy and then send out Swampert. Snorlax looks to throw the Outrage, but we lose CMP. Cutlass Boy decides to invest a Protect Shield, looking to get the move off. Outrage won't knock out, but will land for decent damage. The opponent actually invests a final Protect Shield. Cutlass Boy looks to make a catch onto Hypno, saving Snorlax. Hypno is going to tank the Hydro Cannon really well. My god, is Hypno thick, even as a shadow. The super spammy Swampert already at the next charge move. Hypno again elects the no shield. The opponent then go for the wham bam combo play, sending out Charizard. We shield up the Dragon Claw. We return fire with the Psyshock. The opponent has no Protect Shields, too high behind, and Psyshock gets the opponent incredibly low. They look for the Fire Spin farm down, but Hypno so thick, we manage to Confusion farm all the way down. Cutlass Boy waiting out his clock. We send out Hitmonchan. We then look to catch the charge move onto Snorlax. The catch is unsuccessful as the opponent switch lock. They choose to throw energy anyway. We can now send back out Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan gets the full counter farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Walrein. And it's going to be high Walrein, by Walrein. Get wrecked. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, again we see Charizard. This one is on Legacy Wing Attack, so objectively worse for Hitmonchan. We save switch into Snorlax and the opponent answers with Sceptile. Another very spicy pick. I wonder if they've got Breaking Swipe. We land the first Body Slam. The opponent farming up a lot of energy. We see an instant no shield deployed. The opponent full sends an Earthquake. My god. Earthquake, a very hard hitting move. Even after being nerfed, but Snorlax withstands the damage. Fires off the Body Slam. Body Slam forces a Protect Shield. Cutlass Boy looking to take back switch. The opponent fires off the Frenzy Plant. The opponent only running nukes, but we do flip switch. Back out comes Charizard and Snorlax still not done. Fires off the Body Slam. Body Slam goes unshielded and Charizard is now down below half health. We aggressively pivot out into Hypno, saving Snorlax as a potential sack swap. We get baited with a Dragon Claw. Does Charizard make the blast burn? No, they don't. It's only a Dragon Claw. Hypno now gets the full Confusion farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Swampert. As much as I'd love to YOLO the Focus Blast, I think Psyshock is the correct player. It is better DPE. We force the final Protect Shield. We're only one Confusion away from the next Psyshock. The next Psyshock gets Swampert down below half health. I've just noticed this is a Water Gun Swampert. What the heck? The opponent's Elite TM their Charizard, but they're opting for Water Gun over Mud Shot. Interesting. Cutlass Boy then makes a savage catch, catching the next Hydro Cannon onto Snorlax. We come in, counter farm down, and take a very strange win. GG's. What a lead. Hitmonchan into the very glassy Zangoose. The opponent save switch into a shiny Lugia. I'm calling this a triple shiny team. Snorlax a pretty good answer for Lugia. As long as we don't get hit with an Aero Blast, we land the Body Slam. The opponent farming up, looking to bait a potential Aero Blast. Cutlass Boy calling the bait. The opponent full sends and we get vanquished back to our Pokeball. Snorlax pretty thick, but Aero Blast hits like a truck. We now send back out Hitmonchan. Go straight for the Ice Punch. Ice Punch will be securing the knockout, and it does. The opponent going to be forced to show their third, which is a Tentacruel. Hitmonchan doesn't like this position it's found himself in. It looks like CMP. Do they give up a shield fearful of the Thunder Punch? Yes, they do. This is only an Acid Spray. We see the instant no shield deployed from Hitmonchan. It's time to pivot. In comes Hypno with shield advantage. The opponent give us a huge energy lead, then send out Zangoose. Zangoose so glassy. Zangoose would have a good matchup if it had even energy and even shields. The opponent doesn't shield up the Psyshock. We can now shield the Night Slash. Confusion farm all the way down. Back out comes Tentacruel. Cutlass Boy invests his final Protect Shield and we get Acid Spray baited again. Hypno though able to reach the Psyshock. Psyshock will be forcing the final Protect Shield. What the heck? Mr. Opponent, why didn't you shield? I don't know, but we take that game. Moving on to the next one. What is that? What is happening in this video? Electros. Jamie Finn 1415. Pull yourself together, lad. My commentary's an absolute shambles. Electros shields up the Ice Punch. I don't know what this thing runs. I think it's Crunch and Discharge. We shield up the Discharge. Look at the counter damage. Electros looks like it's made of absolute paper. Hitmonchan fires off the next Ice Punch. Electros opts to double shield. We then pivot out into Snorlax. Does Electros have a nuke? Let's find out. Electros again fires off the Thunderbolt this time. And ouch, that did a lot of damage. We get the full lick farm down. The opponent send out Aurorus. No, we have no superpower. That would have been double super effective into Aurorus. But to be honest, even the Outrage did a lot of damage. The opponent farm up a boatload of energy. Fire off the Weather Ball, which will be securing the knockout. Aurorus has a lot of residual energy, so we opt to send out Hypno. The opponent send out Sylveon. Sylveon with no Protect Shields, just going to get oppressively beat down by Hypno. We fire off the Psyshock, which gets Sylveon incredibly low. Can we Confusion Farm all the way down? The opponent makes the last second charge move. Hypno going to elect to shield this. The opponent full send the Moonblast. Hypno gets the full Confusion Farm down. Back out comes Aurorus. They elect to throw energy, denying Hypno the opportunity to sweep. We send back out Hitmonchan, and we're going to be able to counter farm down and take that game. Moving on to the next one. Yet another purified Pokemon. My god, how many purified Pokemon have we seen in this video? Hitmonchan farms up, fires off the Ice Punch. Ice Punch is neutral due to ice resistant ice and flying taken super effective. The opponent commits a Protect Shield, then catch the Icy Wind onto the big thick boy. The opponent farms up some energy. It looks like the opponent continuing to stay in, and Snorlax still doesn't need to shield. The second Icy Wind gets Snorlax down below a third health. Cutlass Boy farms up, fires off the Body Slam, but 2-stage debuff. This won't do a lot. Articuno withstands the damage. Snorlax makes the next Body Slam. This is going to be more or less Body Slam range. Body Slam doesn't quite knock out. Articuno survives on a sliver of HP. Snorlax has done its job as the damage sponge. We elect to let it go down, send back at Hitmonchan. We get the counter farm down. The opponent sends out Alolan Ninetales. Cutlass Boy gonna full send the close combat. This is neutral. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They near get one shot. Hypno comes in, gets the Confusion Farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Purified Swampert. What a team. Purified Swampert, Purified Articuno, ABA Ice. To be honest, Mr. Opponent, I think you should top left, as Hypno, with shield advantage, going to easily be able to clean up. The opponent isn't top left in, so Cutlass Boy is going to have to start shielding. We're now at the back-to-back Psyshocks. The first one will be forcing the final Protect Shield. I think the second one should knock out more or less. Either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't knock out. We still have a Protect Shield. We Confusion Farm down and take that game. Shadow Pokemon 1. Purified Pokemon 0. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into Greninja. The opponent say switch into Giratina altered. Let's go. The opponent definitely don't shield the Outrage. Who shields against Snorlax? Cutlass Boy tanks the Dragon Claw. Giratina able to make Dragon Claw number 2. Come on Snorlax, get there buddy. Outrage very expensive and Lick doesn't generate energy all that quickly. We're finally at the Outrage. Outrage. What? Go shielded. Mr. Opponent, are you using the bot? Come on, admit it. Are you using the bot? In a strange turn of events, it looks like the opponent is going to be able to take back switch. Cutlass Boy just going to elect to let Snorlax go down. I don't dislike that play, because we can send in Hypno, commit to an aggressive Confusion Farm down, and let's see if the opponent respects the Focus Blast. Giratina fires off the Dragon Claw. We easily withstand the damage. Hypno gets the full Confusion Farm down. Back out comes Greninja. And if Greninja don't know about Hypno's Focus Blast coverage, my god, are they about to find out? Focus Blast goes unshielded. The opponent's final Pokemon is Cobalion. We're actually going for an Ice Punch bait, which is massively unnecessary. It looks like the opponent's force closed their app, actually, to be honest. We've got so much lag. Oh, nope, the opponent's still here. We've still got 2 Protect Shields, 2 hide behind. We shield up the Sacred Sword. We're getting yet more lag. What is going on? Do we lag out? Oh, maybe the opponent did close their app after all, and why not? Because they had no win con, and we take another dub. Moving on to the next one. Hitmonchan into a shiny Swampert. We've seen this play out a few times. Cutlass Boy shields up the first Hydro Cannon, throws the close combat on 8. However, this opponent has other ideas. They aggressively switch out into Armored Mewtwo. Atlantic, when is this thing coming back into fucking raids? I still don't have one in my Pokédex. Not that I'd probably use it, but it looks pretty cool. So I suppose I should just get one, you know, for that keepsake. Snorlax tanks the... What's that move called? Side Strike, that's it. Then returns fire with another Body Slam. Body Slam. Force of Protection. Looks like Mewtwo going for the full Confusion Farm down. They look to get it, but Snorlax says no. Makes another Body Slam. The big thick boy going off in the mid game. Oh, Body Slam doesn't knock out. However, we can send out Hypno. I imagine this is another Side Strike. We elect to shield. I'm not sure on that shield, because worst case it would have been like an Earthquake or a Rock Slide. But either way, I'm just going to get back into the commentary and stop getting sidetracked. The opponent throw a Surf. No, trainer. You definitely need to Elite TM that to Hydro Cannon. We then throw the Psyshock. Psyshock gets Swampert incredibly low. Look why you don't want to run Surf, because it just tickles. Hypno going to be able to Confusion Farm all the way down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Giratina. We reach the Psyshock. Giratina usually pretty bad for fighters, but Hitmonchan has Ice Punch. We come in, throw the Ice Punch. Giratina still 1 Protect Shield, 2 hide behind. Don't shield that up. Oh wait, I think they've actually used both Protect Shields. You can tell, trying to shoutcast 20 battles consecutively has bamboozled my brain. We reach the next Ice Punch, and Ice Punch will be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. And that is going to conclude a full 20 battles. Yes, they were handpicked, but they were fun regardless. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.